Welcome back guys, Harry here, known as Tradesharpe, and in this video I'm going to talk about my time frame strategy. What time frame I use to enter, how do I decide what time frame to enter. Sometimes you guys seeing me enter on the 5 minute, sometimes you guys see me enter on the 15, sometimes you guys see me enter on the 30, the 1 hour, and in this video I'm exactly going to talk how do you decide what time frame to enter, because we all want to have those accurate entries with the smallest stop possible but still allow us enough room to get profitable trades and be consistent. At the end of the day, consistency is key. We can't maybe be always on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. We have to sometimes give us a little bit more of a logical area and logical entry and have enough confirmation while not confusing ourselves with the higher time frame. We're going to clear all of that up, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I choose what time frame to take the trades on. Hopefully you guys can use the information for yourselves and start getting more accurate and understanding how time frames are used. So it's a really good video, definitely watch it to the end. A lot of good material in here, and yeah, with that being said, gonna catch you on the charts and see you then. Now, as always guys, before we get onto the charts, you know the drill. If we can do the YouTube business, leaving a like really does support the channel. Free way to give back and show me that you guys are enjoying the videos. It's just the YouTube business. We call it the YouTube business, hate to ask. Down below is my Instagram. Give me a follow there to keep updated on all stuff, live streams and all of that stuff. And you can see all the links. All my official links are only the ones in the description. If you join the free Discord and someone DMs you, that's not me. Just make sure to follow all the official links. You can join the team as well. You see the link there for the exclusives. All of that is there. All of that shilling out the way. Let's get into what you're here for and talk about the time frame strategy, which is what we all want to hear about. So with that being said, let's get straight onto the charts. Alright guys, so the first thing is you need to identify when it comes to time frames, right? And when it comes to finding entries on time frames, when it comes to using time frames, you need to establish there's two different times we use time frames. Number one is we use time frames for, actually there's three different times, and I'm going to put it in three different sections. Number one is for analysis. Time frames can be used for analysis. That's what we're going to cover first. Number two is for confirmation, and number three can be for entry. So you have to realize that different time frames are used for different purposes. So when it comes to analysis, this is where we want to be starting on the weekly time frame, moving down through the time frame, which is all going to give us the confirmation in order to take a trade, but it's not something that we have to focus on fully in terms of when we're entering our trade. We don't care where the weekly is when we're entering our trade. We just use the previous close, we use previous daily close, previous 4 hour close to be able to help our analysis. But it doesn't matter how the weekly is looking. Is it, close to flipping or not? All we care about is support and resistance. Is there a weekly resistance? Is there a 4 hour support? Is there a 4 hour resistance that we need to be careful of when taking trades on lower time frames, right? So when we move down to the daily time frame, that's the next time frame, weekly, daily, monthly, we're just doing our analysis. And then once we go down past the 1 hour, for me personally, this is when we're starting to get into our trading timeframes now, right? So our trading time frame means when we need to see a setup. So we have the setups, and I have a video on my setup, on my full setups. These are the setups. We need to, the confirmation, the candle that gives confirmation for entry, what time frame does that have to happen, right? And ideally that can all start from the 1 hour time frame. Now the perfect time frame, and this is the secret sauce, the time frame that I felt has worked the best for me for confirmation is the 15 minute. Why? Because it's quarterly and I don't have to wait too long. But let's say the time, right? It's all based on time as well. So let's say the time was 10:15, right? So if it was 10:15, then obviously we'll be looking at a 15-minute close because it's 10:15. So we don't have to worry about the 30 or the 1 hour because they're still open. So we would be basing our confirmation off the 15-minute close. But if that time was to change to 10:30, now if we're looking at 10:30, we might as well also check the 30-minute close, right? So we have to go and we have to see a 30-minute close to make sure that we have the same confluence as we have on the 15 in order to take the trade now, right? That is why it's very important to understand what time frame to use is based on time, and 15-minute is going to be your best friend here. 15-minute is your best friend for entry. It's a time frame that's going to make sense for entry, and yeah, it's something you want to do. So if we take an example here that we're bearish in the market here, we're potentially looking for sells below a potential support here, or even below this back into the range, right? So let's take the idea today that we're looking for sells back into the range, and now I'm going to talk to you about confirmation timeframes, right? So confirmation is 15. We're looking for the 15 close, so we're waiting for closures. That's a closure, right? We've created resistance, but I'm looking for sells below here in this instance and in this plan. right? Because you guys are also wondering, okay, when do we use the 5, when do we use the 1 minute? The 1 minute and the 5 minute are not enough to be a confirmation time frame, because they're too erratic. If you were to drop to the 1 minute right here, you would see that it's too erratic. There's no confirmation. Does this mean buy? We're changing structure, we're going to continue up. Did that mean to sell? Does this mean, this is not enough confirmation. This is not enough. Now, what you guys have to understand is that time frame is also going to be relative to what type of thing you're trying to achieve in the market. Essentially, if you're trying to trade from zone to zone and you're trying to achieve the efficient move, you're going to need confirmation from candles, right? If you're trading a reactional based trading method where you try for price to reach a zone and you're looking for 1 minute rejection to keep a small stop loss, you're going to use less confirmation, you're going to get less setups, or what's going to happen is you're going to sacrifice the trading space. So for me, the way that I've experimented with all of this, I've experimented with higher time frame. I didn't like holding the trade. I've experimented with even 1 minute time frame, trying to catch 1 minute entries. And what I found with 1 minute entries is that my range becomes smaller, because the 1 minute, a lot can happen in 15 minutes. That's 15 1 minute candle, and I might get 8 pips in that 1 minute and have to be happy. But when you trade a 15 minutes, that's where you can maximize your position, and those positions could end up running for even longer, and you can have bigger positions, which is what we want. Whereas on the 1 minute, it's more of a very tight scalp with very least confirmation, and I just find it very messy and very tough for many people to grasp. And I think it's, a get in, get out type scheme, and it doesn't give you the opportunity to have that type of long-term trade where we can turn a session trade into a swing trade and hold it longer with confirmation. And also trading a 15-minute, it's less emotional because we have the confirmation. We can make a decision once every 15 minutes based on those candles to either manage the trade or continue holding it. So the only time I drop down to lower time frame and use the 5 minute and use the 1 minute is to try get a more accurate entry when I already have the confirmation from my higher time frame. So that's what I want to teach you guys in this video, is that when you have the confirmation from your 15, either the 30-minute close as well or the 1 hour altogether has closed, when that is your confirmation, only then can you drop to the 5 and use a technique to get more confirmation. And the most popular technique that I've exposed to you guys is called the thunderstorm setup. So the thunderstorm setup is setup number 1 on the right. So if we take up our setup book, it's setup number 1 on the 15-minute, right? And setup number 3 on the 5 minute. So we're using the 5 minute to get more of an accurate entry. And before you guys ask, yes, on my YouTube channel, I do have a video about the thunderstorm entry. You guys can check that out. Just go to the channel and check this video here, my trading the thunderstorm, right? So that video will explain to you guys exactly how to use the thunderstorm setup, and I hope that helps. But let's go ahead and have a look at this example here and move through the chart. So if we're looking at price coming down bearish and we're looking for sells below this zone, right? We're waiting for a 15-minute close below here. The plan is to have a 15-minute close below. As we can see, nothing is fitting our plan at the moment. And a lot of people trading the 1 and 5 are getting messed up, right? They're trying to take buys here, they're losing. They took a buy on this candle close above, they're losing. But what you notice, no 15 closed above here, right? We have no 15, and 15-minute is keeping us safe. It's keeping us safe from the trade, and we know we have these clean candles. This can be an area of interest, and we can continue down to the bottom of the range, right? So this is the range we're trying to fill. This is the whole range here. This is our money zone. We're watching this zone. This is a question mark. Are we going to reject off this? And this is our main TP target at the bottom of the range, filling the clean candles. If you are not used to my trading method, this might be a little confusing. I recommend you run through some videos on the channel to get it, but a lot of returning viewers, this should be clear as picture. I do have a full trading course as well for free on the channel, which should help you. But overall, what we're looking for is that range to be filled here. And in order for that confirmation, I need a 15-minute closing below this line to give me the confirmation that, hey, I can potentially take sells here. So first candle closes below, right? That closure below is now your confirmation to say, okay, I have confirmation of a 15-minute candle closing below, and now I can take a short position here, put my stop loss above the previous 15 high here, target the range lows, and understand that this should be my area that should be filled, watching this zone here. And now I can make decisions based on 15-minute candle closures, right? So let's see what ended up happening, right? So we came here, made a top wick, and then we ended up continuing down. So now let's go and see, okay, fine, let's further our knowledge. Could we have got a better entry holding less of this drawdown? We had to hold about 7 pip drawdown. Could I hold less drawdown if I used the 5 minute? And what you find is, yeah, you could have waited for the 5 minute to pull back. Once the 5 minute rebroke its low with this candle here, that could have been your entry right there. Now that is only, as you can see, a little bit more of how you can use lower time frame to get more accurate entries. We always want to take entries on the break of the lows, because what you notice is when price respects lows and respects highs, that's normally where you get caught out in fake outs like this. Low is never broken, faked out, right? And when the lows is broken, we get continuation. So now, since we entered on a 15-minute time frame, we're chilling because we know we have a good confirmation time frame, the 5 minutes creating structure. So now we can use the 5 minute and the lower time frames to manage our trade, and we can say I can make a decision once every 15 minutes. So it reaches our zone here. This is maybe where you can use the 5 to say, look, if anything starts rejecting and closing bullish from this zone, I can look to what? Manage my trade. But nothing closed bullish from this zone, you don't need to use it. Go back to 15, make your decision of 15-minute candle closures, and eventually you can make your decision, okay, 15 closed bullish, I can either secure, or you can do whatever you want to do here, right? So at the end of the day, at that 15 closed bullish, that's where you say, okay, I'm out. 15 closed bullish, trade is not continuing down, I close my trade. Full TP was not hit, but again, definitely a big enough move and more than enough to make a profitable position. I would have been out anyways. Anywhere below here would have been kind of happy for me, but that's what I mean. You make your decision based on 15-minute candle. 15 close bullish, that's not the direction you want price to go, and boom, you secure profits. And W's in the chat, lobsters for everyone, right? So that is exactly the method we use when we try to use the time frames to advantage, and that's the way I use my time frames, and that's my time frame strategy, right? Is that I focus on using the 15-minute mostly. Even the 30-minute was a good close. And regarding the time, so let's say this was a 30-minute close, I would have gone and checked the 30-minute and make sure it's also makes sense for my trade to play out, which it does, right? 30 minutes closing bearish, my trade still makes sense on the 30, makes sense on the 15. I'm in according to what? I'm in according to my setup. This is setup number 2, looking for price to continue down, looking for price to continue down, right? So that's exactly what that is, and that's how you use your time frame. So simple video here. I hope that this video has helped, guys, and is very useful for when to apply different time frames and how your mindset should be when going into time frames, and how to get accurate entries based on what I've experimented with. I have trades, as you can see on the stream journal here. I have all information and data that tells me what time frames have worked the best for me, and you can see 15-minute is the time frame that pops up the most, right? So that is why I exactly use it, and that is why it's useful. So this is where I came up with this information, and this is exactly how not only from stream but from my own back testing, how I came with the conclusion as to this is the best time frame for long-term consistency and results. So I hope that this video has helped, and with that being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully catch you guys very, very soon. Peace.